Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button not to miss any stories. My name is Daniel Jacks, and this is The Murder of the McStay Family, a chilling mystery. In 2010, the McStay family seemed to embody the American dream. Joseph McStay, a successful business owner, was known for his skill in creating stunning water feature designs. He had founded a company called Earth-Inspired Products, which specialized in custom fountains. His wife, Summer, was a devoted mother and an active participant in their children's lives. They had two young sons, Gianni and Joseph Jr., who brought joy and laughter to their home in Fallbrook, California. The family enjoyed outdoor activities, and they often shared adventures together, creating a close-knit bond. As the family prepared for the upcoming holidays, their lives took a dark turn that would shock and captivate the nation. On February 4, 2010, the McStay family vanished without a trace, leaving behind a puzzling mystery that would unravel over the coming years. It was a typical evening in the McStay household. Shortly after 7:00 p.m., Joseph and Summer settled down after a long day. They tucked their sons into bed, unaware that their lives would soon be turned upside down. The next day, friends and family began to grow concerned when they failed to hear from the McStays. Joseph's business partner, who had been trying to reach him, noted that he had not shown up for work. As the days passed, panic set in. Attempts to contact the family went unanswered, and their absence raised alarm bells. On February 15, 2010, Joseph's mother, who lived nearby, reported him missing to the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. Authorities launched a missing persons investigation, initially treating it as a case of a family that had simply gone off the grid. Detectives quickly began to piece together the McStays' last known movements. They discovered that the family's last recorded activity occurred on February 4th when they visited a local hardware store. Surveillance footage captured the family in the store, appearing happy and normal. After that, there were no further sightings or communications. As investigators delved deeper, they found that Joseph's business had been thriving, but he had also faced financial challenges. There were rumors of disputes with business partners and concerns about debts, leading some to speculate about possible motives for a sudden disappearance. However, there was no evidence to suggest that Joseph would abandon his family or flee from his responsibilities. As the investigation unfolded, search teams scoured the area around the McStay home but found no signs of the family. Weeks turned into months, and the case began to gather media attention. The McStay family had seemingly vanished without a trace, and the community was on edge, wondering what could have happened to them. Then, in November 2013, a breakthrough came when two motorcyclists stumbled upon a set of remains in the remote desert area near the California-Mexico border, about 100 miles from Fallbrook. Authorities were called to the scene, and the grim discovery would change everything for the McStay case. The remains were identified as belonging to Joseph McStay, along with the bodies of his two sons, Gianni and Joseph Jr. The remains of Summer were later discovered nearby. The news sent shockwaves through the community and rekindled interest in the investigation. The police launched a thorough investigation into the crime scene. The bodies were found buried in shallow graves, and the conditions indicated that the family had met a violent end. Autopsies revealed that Joseph had suffered blunt force trauma, while the boys had died from similar injuries. The cause of Summer's death was determined to be similar, but the details remained elusive. The location of the remains raised questions about why the family had been taken so far from their home. Investigators began to examine the McStays' personal and professional lives, looking for any clues that could lead them to the killer. As detectives combed through Joseph's life, they uncovered a tangled web of relationships, rivalries, and financial struggles. One of the most prominent suspects was a former business partner who had been involved in disputes with Joseph over finances. Investigators learned that tensions had escalated between them, leading to accusations and threats. Another individual of interest was a family friend who had been involved in the McStays' lives prior to their disappearance. He had a history of questionable behavior and a reputation that raised eyebrows. As detectives pursued leads, they also explored the possibility of an outside intruder, someone who may have targeted the family for reasons unknown. The case continued to unfold, and investigators faced pressure to find the truth. With the media spotlight shining brightly on the McStay family tragedy, detectives worked tirelessly to uncover evidence that would lead to an arrest. They interviewed neighbors, friends, and anyone who might have had contact with the family leading up to their disappearance. In the meantime, the McStay family had become a household name, with their story shared across news outlets and social media. Public interest in the case skyrocketed, and amateur sleuths began to speculate about what had happened, offering theories that ranged from financial disputes to abduction. In 2014, nearly 4 years after the family's disappearance, a significant break in the case came when the authorities arrested a suspect named Charles Merritt. Merritt was a former business associate of Joseph McStay, and investigators had uncovered evidence linking him to the crime scene. Merritt was charged with the murders of Joseph Summer, Gianni, and Joseph Jr. The evidence included forensic links to the crime scene, as well as financial motives related to the business disputes between him and Joseph. Merritt's arrest sent shockwaves through the community, as many grappled with the reality that someone so close to the family could be implicated in such a heinous act. As the trial began in 2019, the courtroom was filled with tension and emotion. Prosecutors laid out their case against Merritt, detailing the events leading up to the murders and the evidence that pointed to his guilt. They presented testimony from witnesses, financial records, and forensic evidence that they argued solidified Merritt's involvement. The defense, on the other hand, sought to undermine the prosecution's narrative, suggesting that there was reasonable doubt regarding Merritt's guilt. They argued that there were alternative explanations for the evidence presented. Throughout the trial, the McStay family's tragic story loomed large, with the jury grappling with the evidence and the emotional weight of the case. After weeks of testimony and deliberation, the jury reached a verdict. On June 10, 2021, Charles Merritt was found guilty of 4 counts of first-degree murder. The courtroom erupted with emotion as the verdict was read. Merritt was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, bringing a sense of closure to a case that had haunted the community for years. The McStay family's tragic story serves as a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface. The mystery of their disappearance and the subsequent discovery of their remains left an indelible mark on those who followed the case, echoing the sentiments of loss and sorrow that surrounded the family. In the aftermath of the trial, the McStay family's legacy continued to resonate, with many reflecting on the importance of family, love, and the often unseen battles that can unfold behind closed doors. The quest for justice brought some sense of resolution, but the haunting memories of the McStay family's tragic fate linger on, a testament to the complexities of human relationships and the darkness that can emerge in the most unexpected ways.